we left England. It was a wet and windy drive, and we travelled over the water, and this is our morning view. We arrived on Anglesey.
When we arrived, the tide was in.
It was half midnight, so we couldn't see much, but we knew this parking place because we've parked here before, years and years ago. Not been to Anglesey for years, so we thought it'd be a nice change. So join us over the next few videos, or we bring you little bits of history and some stunning views. And some adventures.
What's on the menu for breakfast?
Pizza!
Pizza!
Leftover pizza! Well, the tide's in. We've had breakfast, so it's time to make a move. It's choppy out there, there's a lot of white horses. Where we're going to get to today then?
Our first stop is on the beach, not far from Beaumaris, just towards Penman, and we've got some old remains. What are they?
They're the remains of a slipway which played an important part in World War II. And if you look over there, that factory, that's where the slipway came from and headed down into the water.
Sort of a gully here that they from those buildings there, this slipway came all the way down.
And that building was the Saunders Row factory. And as I say, it played a key role in the Second World War. In there, they converted US-made Catalina flying boats. And during the height of the 1940s and the war, it was staffed by almost 2,000 people. So it's quite a big site. And the planes were converted to the needs of the RAF to meet the British needs. In the Menai Straits, the water back there was ideal for testing the planes. And the RAF used them in anti-submarine warfare.
They're also used for escort convoys as well, I think, to around the coasts.
They converted nearly 400 Catalinas here. Obviously, at the end of the war, things changed. After the war ended, they built the first aluminium-bodied P-1602 motor torpedo boat. They also made double-decker bus bodies for Cuba, air bridges for international airports, and also the Centaur, which was a half-track vehicle based on the Series 2 Land Rover. So there's our Land Rover connection. The site finally closed in 1997.
That recent?
Yes, yeah. And it's there is a little bit of access to the site, and people have used it as a storage facility. But now it's not easy to get into, so I don't think we're going to be able to wander around.
That's a shame.
But all the tide was coming in. I didn't realise the tide had been that high. I don't think it's moved for a while. It's a little bit flat.
You think it's a doer-upper?
Well, I don't think I'd like to take it out to sea.
Perhaps not. It's all cosmetic.
Yeah, patch a couple of holes up. Do you think there'll be no leaks? Just abandoned in the lay-by. But it's safe for now because we haven't got a tow bar.
So as Darryl said, there's a couple of thousand people used to work on this site. So it must extend beyond the buildings we can see. But it'd be very interesting if we could have got in and had a look round. But, there you go. Flying boats. From the Isle of Anglesey.
And the reason the factory was here was the company who made and converted flying boats were originally on the Isle of Wight, but that became quite a target for German bombers, so they decided to move it.
Too close, wasn't it?
Too close, yeah. So they decided to move the factory somewhere where they thought Germany wouldn't target.
Mm.
And from what I've read, it never was.
No. So that's the Coast Guard, was it?
Yeah, Coast Guard helicopter.
So he must be coming into land. His wheels are down.
Where are we, Keith?
Well, we're just Menai Bridge, is it? Just over the water from Bangor, and this is the Bangor University Ocean Sciences School of Ocean Science, I think it is, and that's their research exploration ship. And I used to know somebody that was at Bangor doing marine biology. I used to work with her, Karina, and she's been out on that a few times as a student and doing research, obviously.
We'll walk a little bit closer to it. Now, that'd be a nice place to live.
It would.
Oh, any of these with this view? At one point, we really considered moving to Anglesey, didn't we?
We did.
We looked at a lot of jobs and stuff like that. So, that boat is called the Prince Maddock. Did Karina go out for days at a time on it? Or?
I think so. I'm not really sure, to be fair, but I'd imagine it's an ocean-going research vessel, so I'd imagine she has been out and stayed on it overnight.
And we're in Menai Bridge, and over there is the bridge. It's still early. We might have had pizza for breakfast, but it's still time for a coffee. Cafe. This is one of the most dangerous parts of water in the UK. What a brilliant view of the bridge. Nice place to live. You're right by the Menai suspension bridge,
which was built between 1819 and 1826. So it didn't take that long to build, to be fair, did it?
Not really, no.
And that was, again, one of Thomas Telford's bridges. And as Darryl said, it's crossing a very dangerous stretch of water, the Menai Straits.
The waters whirlpool around. I think they're called the skerries.
Don't go too far.
The Menai Straits, in past centuries, a barrier to invading armies. And in the early 19th century, an obstacle to communication between London and Dublin.
Because this is the main road to to Holyhead, isn't it? And then the ferries to
over to Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah.
And I imagine this is quite a nice little grassy picnic area until the tide comes in, which I think it is doing at the moment.
It might be at the moment. There's an information board here, and it's saying the final and most difficult and dangerous phase in the construction of the bridge was the raising of the 16 iron suspension chains, each of which weighed 23 tons. The iron chains were produced by a company in Iron Bridge.
And it was the last link in the road from Shrewsbury to Holyhead. So before that, all the commerce had to come over by ferry.
Right over in the distance, I'm not sure whether you'll see them or not. They were closer before when we first pulled up. There's some training going on. Fire brigade. Actually, I don't know whether they've got two boats out at the moment, but before they were just over here. You can book rib rides to ride these waters.
We've been on one, haven't we?
We didn't do the Straits.
Came up to this area and then back along to Beaumaris.
Did we do the Straits?
What we
No,
did?
because we did Puffin Island. We didn't do the Straits as a different ride.
Right. This is the fire unit. We saw them parked up the road. They're obviously having some exercises on the water. They're going against the tide.
You can see how the boat's fighting the water, can't you?
Obviously learning with the instructor there, showing him how to go through the bridge. And peeping out, just holding it on the tide, I think.
This takes some skill. I presume the fire brigade do the training not just for river rescues, but for flood rescue as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like to fall into that, would you?
Not really.
It's quite a busy stretch of water in the Menai Straits.
There he goes. It's certainly busy during the summer, isn't it?
Very, yeah. It's not what I'd like to do in our boats, either the Canadian or our inflatables.
No.
Here comes another boat coming through now. It's another fire boat. So obviously it's a team day. First one's gone round under the other arch. These guys are doing the same thing, practicing holding the boat there before coming through. As I say, it takes a heck of a lot of skill to do that. And it makes you realise just what a lot of training the fire brigade do, not just in fire safety, but water safety too. It's an impressive structure.